Also, is somebody doing the audio recording? I remember somebody activating a bot before, but I feel like I haven't seen that recently.
GM.
GM Coder Dan.
Great point. There was like a gotchi bot that I believe Thrax or someone would do at the beginning of these.
Yeah, because I'm recording. I just don't want to, like, it's good to have redundancy.
Okay, Goob's got it. Nice.
Excellent. Good. They didn't need to hear my intro anyway.
Well, GM friends. As we're getting started here, Oliver Spoon, let's see if he's on the call yet. We're about to do the snapshot for the schematics. So I think that's going to be happening during this hangout. I wanted to give him a chance if I don't think he's in the call yet, but he should be here soon. Or anyone from the team handling this forge smithing competition. Is it for the DAO call? Okay, I wasn't sure exactly what time the snapshot was going to happen, Oxiano. But we put the announcement out just a few hours ago, and I've seen a bunch of people already putting on the new wearables. They're looking amazing. I'm going to have to go get myself that rare stone. That thing I love it. And the kawaii face. Oh my God. These turned out really good, actually. But I'm going to go read that blog post and just double check exactly what time the snapshot's going to happen. Okay, our blog post says 2 p.m. UTC during the weekly Gotcha Gang Hangout. Do we have PG or anyone from the team handling the smithing competition able to confirm that? We are not, like, Pixelcraft is not handling the snapshot, so I just want to let everyone know that if you go, let's see, Forge leaderboard, maybe they have something. That's the leaderboard page, and it still says that the announcement will be coming soon. By the way, I love this little picture. This is so adorable. I don't know if that was Oliver Spoon who made that, but it's so good. So adorbs. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on that throughout the hangout. But yeah, if you haven't already, you can start cracking open those geodes, and there's a whole bunch of new schematics in the geo pools that are ready for you to claim from your VRF. So hope Sergey shines his light upon you. Oliver Spoon, GM, sir. Yeah, we were just saying the snapshot. Do we have one more hour before that snapshot, or is it going to happen? Is it happening as we speak? Because in our announcement, we put 2 p.m. UTC, which is right now. Okay, so just over an hour. Got it. Perfect. block 61814844. Excellent. Yeah, so here's the leaderboard, friends. I'm going to be watching that throughout this call. I wonder if it updates live. I see Dendi is at the top, has been there quite a while. Level 24. Oliver, any commentary that you guys can give on how this competition has been going? I know if we check, I think is it wearables.report has the, what is it? The smelting volume or something somewhere. Yeah. Usage, I think, or alloy locked.
Hello,
Hey, sir.
how are we? Yeah, I think we've had pretty good response from the competition. We have here, oh, you're sharing the same thing I'm about to share myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is you're showing the forge activity, and this is I have the alloy locked by week. So we have a massive candle from last week. And then it's still growing for the remainder of this week.
That's really, really interesting. Do we know, is that in terms of raw alloy? So this says last week we had about 150,000 alloy locked. Is that what that means?
Yes. So my understanding is that is the 10% total. So 5% burn and 5% locked. I would have to confirm that with Mikey J though.
Nice. Just to put it in perspective for people, what is one common wearable worth of alloy?
One common is 100 alloy.
Okay.
And I think 147K is pretty close to a whole godlike worth. Let me check real quick. It's more than a godlike actually. So a entire godlike was removed from the circulation as far as alloy is concerned.
Yeah, so 117K for one godlike. I know, 130K. Very nice. So, and about 6 mythicals have been eaten up.
It's quite significant. And there's quite a bit of volume in the bazaar too. Like lots and lots of geodes have
Yeah.
been selling. Heaps of alloy have gone through. Lots of cores. If you go to the bazaar activity, yeah, it's been quite active with forge components for the past few days now.
Oh yeah, popping off.
So all in all, I think it's a success, and it was nice to have a different means of distribution for these schematics because originally they were just going to go into the geode pool, which would be quite hard to get them out. And I really like this particular model because it gives rewards back to those who use the mechanism themselves the most.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember you guys came up with this idea quite a while back, but kind of thought about it for a while and then finally decided it was the right time to execute on it. Or is it a recent idea that you had? It seems like it's been floating around for a while.
Yeah, it's been talked about off and on for many months. Really since the creation of the Forge, it's been thrown around to have some kind of leaderboard. And I think it was getting quite like complicated with all these different ideas to make it like a Delta board and everything. And
Mhm.
so we never really got anywhere because everyone had different ideas on where to take it. But with this last wearable release, it just kind of popped up again. And I thought maybe we just make it something very simple, like just a straight one snapshot. Don't make it too complicated. Just do it like this, and we can reward the schematics. That was another thing before too. It's like, what kind of rewards do we take money from the rarity farming? How is this going to get paid out? And yeah, it just really happened quite organically to make it the schematic prizes, which I think the prizes are quite cool. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's pretty cool to have like this pretty sharp prize cliff. So, if you get fifth, you get all the myth schematics and down. But if you get just sixth, it's legendary and down. So
Hmm.
it's quite a big jump in what you get as a prize. Um, and I think that's pretty cool. So there's like a lot of competition going on around the edges of the ranks.
Yeah, I'm curious. Everyone here in the chat, what is the wearable that you're most excited about getting? We got the granny shades, freckles face, common stone, based shades, rasta glasses, braces, uncommon stone, aloha flowers, bubblegum, rare stone, wild fungi, face mask, kawaii mouth, and the baby licky pet. Yeah, that baby licky pet, I have a feeling that one's going to be quite popular. Same with the kawaii mouth. They look so good on the gachi. Personally, I'm going to be buying a schematic for rare stone. Got to get that guy. The granny shades.
I think the collection turned out quite nice at the end of the day. I think there's some really cool pieces. I like the bubble gum; it's really cool, and yeah, the baby licky's just really just on point. I love it so much.
Bubblegum and actually mask, the face mask. Zbot has been sitting on those for quite a while. We weren't really sure if people would like them or not, but since they were introduced and they won the contest, we're like, oh well, pretty sick.
Yeah, I think the mask is a little bit hit or miss for some people, right? It stirs up maybe not the most fond memories
PTSD.
from
Yeah.
the pandemic. Cool. I'm going to step
Yeah,
back down. But yeah, I announced the block here. It's 61,818,844. So that's roughly about 1 hour and 8 minutes from now. But
perfect.
could give or take a few minutes just based on how Polygon works.
Very cool. Well, thanks, sir.
Oh,
We'll
it's fun. No, Thorax, I'm with you,
we'll
man. I was in I had a great time on the pandemic. I went traveling. I did like the opposite of everyone else. It was super nice.
I was stuck in Sri Lanka for most of the pandemic, and that's where we made Avagachi. So I think it was a decent time, although we couldn't really go anywhere. That's why we're just spitting code all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have that forced lock-in, I guess, in a sense, if you're building a business. All right, cool. Well, I'll
Cool.
come back on when the actual snapshot happens and just do a quick little announcement.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. And just to let everyone know here, I'm sure we're all going to be tuned in, but we'll be talking about the funding renewal proposal, and we have a kind of a presentation or a slide deck to share with the community here. We'll be doing that during the DAO call. So we're just gonna do our normal hangout here, and then we'll go into that during the DAO call during the time allotted for that. So definitely stick around. It's gonna be some pretty big alpha drop during that. It'll also be recorded too if you miss it, but better to be there. Let's see, White Ranger, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. GM, everybody. We've had some updates to the Battleverse this week. So at the end of the month, we'll be at MCon with the machine. We'll have the Battleverse loaded. What I'm hoping to have ready is like like the game's kind of preloaded. On the left side, it says insert coin with a QR code. On the right, it says insert coin with a QR code. One person sends a coin to the left side, one person sends a coin to the right side, ghost token, and then that initiates the game. Winner gets the token, like the winner of the game gets both tokens. And then I was thinking of doing like a prize pool to where the person that wins the most games on the machine gets the prize pool. And then maybe like have two prize pools. So one would be like most wins, and then the second one would be like most wagered. I thought that would be kind of cool. But that seems like a very, you just send a token to the machine, just like you would at a regular arcade. And then that initiates the game. So I'm going to try to build that out and get that integrated. I would appreciate anyone's help on that if they wanted to dive in. I'll post the GitHub link to the game. You can just fork it and give it a try.
Great. What's the flow that you're planning to use? You said to insert the token, you'll scan a QR code.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying you said there's going to be a flow where to like insert your token, you'll scan a QR code.
Yeah, you'll just send a token to an address. I just wanted an address on the left side,
Oh,
an
okay.
address on the right side. And so it goes into like a holding mechanism. And then the winner
Right.
of the game gets hit like 1.75, and then 0.25 goes into the prize pool. So that's like the most minimal. It seems doable. Yeah, I just got to build it out. Any recommendations?
Is that going to be like it's so it's kind of like an escrow that you're holding it in?
Yeah, it would
Or
all
is it?
happen on the machine itself,
Okay, got it.
or
So
or if a smart contract or something that we could execute from the machine.
yeah, so it'll be basically one machine per address that they'd be sending it to.
I think
Okay.
each player would have an address that they're sending to, so there'd be player one and then player two, and then
Okay.
the winner would be the receiving. So the player two, the sent address would receive the winning tokens, and then there'd be a prize pool address,
Got it.
which we could have run by the DAO possibly if we want to do a DAO address for that, depending on the amount, and then we can just figure out who won afterward based on the transaction history.
And the token that they'll be sending, is that Ghost? Is it like a
Yeah,
stable?
we
Yeah,
could
it's
do
Ghost.
Ghost Token or we could do Glitter. I don't have any attachments there. Ghost made the most sense.
Yeah. I guess at the Incom, like I wonder if a lot of the people there might not have Ghost. So they might want to play and be like, oh, I don't have Ghost, and they just bounce kind of.
Yeah, we could airdrop Glitter, like have a Glitter that
Right.
faucet or something on the machine, and go that route just to prove the concept and get them engaged.
Yeah.
And then maybe the prize pool is in Ghost or something, like whatever we have sponsored.
Oh, it's going to be a cool little activation for sure. I've never seen that
Yeah,
flow before.
yeah. Any help, any help getting it done? I'm all ears.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a little bit of back end work, so if you guys have any issues that you encounter, feel free to drop a DM.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Thrax, Orium Autopetter was down actually this morning. I went to look at my gotchis and they were unpet, and I was a little bit worried. Anyone know what's going on with that? Or is it back up yet? We're gonna have a bunch of cranky gotchis soon. I'll give Ernani a ping here in a bit. Just ask him. Maybe he's around. Yeah, Oliver Spoon, exactly. This is big opportunity for the kinship board movement. And let's see, No Future, how you doing, sir? Anything,
Well,
been playing any gotcha games recently?
just mostly SFA recently. Kind of waiting for play dropped. I tried to open it last week, but I couldn't get it all the way open, so I gave up kind of early. But my internet was kind of weird, so.
You know what? I tried to open play dropped a few times when I was showing, yeah, it was the V1 when I was in, I believe it was KBW or Tokyo, and I was able to connect and I got the game open, but it never loaded the gotchis, I think. Even if I use like the free version of the gotchi, like I didn't connect my wallet. I'm not sure if that was the issue or not. But
Yeah,
I was trying to show people, if you just go to free play, it says select a gotchi, but I was not able to actually find the gotchi. I wasn't able to show it off. Oh, it's down right now. Okay, that makes sense. Because we were next to the beacon at one of the events we did in Tokyo, and I was like, we have a roguelike, like a pixel roguelike too. Went to try to show it to them, and could not, unfortunately. Can't wait for V2. It's gonna be lit for the whole ecosystem. Speaking of the beacon, just normal drama in our Web3 gaming space. The whole Treasure DAO is doing a DAO vote to move to ZK Sync. Literally, just like this is our space right now. It's just always, things are always shifting around. I was just chatting with Treasure DAO at the Arbitrum event, and now they're like, actually, we're going to ZK Sync. Like, man, I was looking forward to doing some partnerships with Treasure DAO. They haven't left already, but they're literally like voting on it, I guess, today. And it seems like I don't know. They seem like they're pretty confident it'll go through. I don't know. They're claiming it's not for grants.
What's
They haven't left yet.
for them to go to ZK Sync if it's not grant wise?
From what they're saying, it sounds like it's the whole interoperability play. Like basically what AgLayer is doing. Well, I think AgLayer, didn't they? They are very similar to ZK Sync's elastic chain idea, which is basically interoperability. So the fact that I guess Pudgy is there and Lens is there, they think that it will be a better ecosystem. I don't know. They didn't really give a clear reasoning.
Actually, I have a question for you. I'm trying to find the tweet from Vitalik. He's talking about supporting stage 1 L2s that are, I guess, decentralized enough. Do you feel confident that Base or Arbitrum will meet that criteria? I'm trying to find the exact tweet so I can give more context.
So Arbitrum, if you go to their profile on layer 2 beat, they're like one of the only stage 1s. Here's their profile. So there's a couple criteria to be a stage. Let's see, stage 0. The project calls itself a roll-up. That's kind of funny. Like you can just call yourself a roll-up. L2 state roots are posted to L1. Inputs for the state transition function are posted to L1. And a source available node exists that can recreate the state from L1 data. Stage, so that's pretty easy. Most of the roll-ups out there, I think, meet stage 0. Then it's for stage 1, you have to have a proof system. You got to have fraud proofs by external actors. You should be able to exit without permissioned operators. You need to have 7 days to exit, and you have a proper security council. Yeah, so Arbitrum is kind of leading the way. This was when we looked at all the options, we thought Arbitrum of the kind of optimistic roll-ups was actually quite far ahead. That's why we're still pretty excited about them. Base is not there yet. OP mainnet is going to have fraud proofs soon, I think. Golden Cross, how you doing, sir?
Hey, there we go. Had some technical stuff there, but good to be on stage.
Just to finish that thought, it just shows you how early this whole chain narrative is. Like, there's still no like clear winner, and it's going to be very messy for the next 12 months at least, probably, as different ZK tech comes on and everyone's vying for market share. So interesting time to be. We've tried to pick the best horse. I think Arbitrum is still gonna continue to do really well, and they do have this massive gaming fund that they just allocated that hasn't been used yet. So still pretty bullish on Arbitrum. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to. We'll probably try to chat with Treasure just to see, what their deeper reasons were. But
I hope it's not just the grant hopping, which I've seen some thrown around. That is a thing, but yeah, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. There's just a lot of other things going on. So from our point of view and our homework, Arbitrum's just so strong, right? So we're very, very cozy.
Yeah, we had great events with them at KBW in Tokyo. They were super helpful on the ground, throwing great events, and their gaming ecosystem is quite strong as well. So it's like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Go do some investigating, Al.
When you were talking about it, so I don't know if you used the word volatile, but it reminds me of this meme that's going around I saw last night. It's so funny. It's like, what's his name? Sailor. And he's like, forest fires are volatile. Dams breaking are volatile. Typhoons are volatile. That's where the energy comes from. You want to be in a volatile system. So that's the L3 space for us. Yeah. There's plenty of energy and kinetic energy, I guess Sailor would approve. Right. But don't be a tourist. He's like, if you drowned in Niagara Falls, then that's because you're a tourist. You need to be there doing it right.
He's got the best analogies.
Yeah. Such an engineering mind. So, but we're definitely not tourists. So I'm fine with a little volatility. But yeah, let's see, what can I bring to the table this week? You're done with the road trip, right? Road shows all over. So
yes, sir.
KBW went good. Now that's not to say Avagachi as a whole isn't still out and about. We got a very busy week this week. Jason is on the ground, maybe a few from Gotchi Gang here, all at Token 2049. So I know there's been a lot of DMs, a lot of outreach to friends in Singapore, and I think we've got just an endless array of meetings lined up. So pretty excited for everything happening at 49. It's always a good time, and usually reaps good rewards.
The list of side events it's probably up to 1,000 now. It's probably the fastest growing ecosystem in crypto is just Token 2049 side events. Last
Yeah,
time I checked, it was about 700. That was a
I'm
couple days
pretty
ago.
sure that is crazy. 700 actual events. It's 100 a day, and that was what like some of I think a couple months back we made introductions with like the SG Builders group, who are kind of like the core building community in Singapore. If you ever go there, want
Right.
intros, we linked up with them to explore like having an Avogacci meetup basically during 49, and they have so much inbound and know like what's going on. They kind of gave us the heads up, and I was like, we could, but there's so much competition for foot traffic. It's probably better to just partner with some of your other friends in the Arbitrum ecosystem or base community and so on. So I think we're co-sponsoring a couple events and co-hosting a few, and that's probably the way to do it.
Yeah, I just dropped this one. This was actually one of the more recently organized events. This was made by Mia La La La. Some of you guys might be familiar with her. She's working on DAO Base, and they're doing a meetup together with Base. And yeah, Avogacci is going to be doing a small sponsorship with that event. And our Sir Lost Local is going to be on a panel and going to be doing a talk as well during the event. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And I just know Jason's got his hands full. So if anybody else is going or knows friends that are attending, definitely give a shout. And I'll try to get into the same events and do some networking together. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm in Singapore most of the time, and I have to miss out on this. I'm kind of
We're gonna have to redo your schedule, sir. So you're in Singapore during this the token events.
Exactly. It's been a couple of years now since I was able to attend it. And they do it the same week as the F1 race, the night race.
Yeah.
So it's like the city's on fire. It's definitely just a good time. Everybody's in the right mindset. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that. Hopefully get a lot of footage and make some good follow-ups. I also see in the internal docs we have so many leads and different potentials to line up on. And I think that's partially due to, unlike previous years, it's like, well, we can talk about Avogacci and the DApp and maybe developing a game. Now it's like there's this whole thing called Geist, and it's going live. So just about any size and shape could have a role to play in that ecosystem. So it gets really interesting. You have to filter a lot more of probably a lot more noise, but also generates a lot of like interest. Hey, Dan, here's an interesting topic, kind of a bigger one. Benefit that is going to come with the launch of Geist and migration, but like it's always been probably one of the earliest flaws was just putting everything in one smart contract for the wearables and the gotchis themselves.
Yeah.
We're still working on how to make that. This is the opportunity to like update the contracts, change that during this migration. I don't know if everybody realizes that, but that's going to be huge in terms of compatibility with our listings and whether you're on.
I would say it's definitely gonna be like it's gonna make things easier for our partners like Alchemy to do like APIs. I wouldn't expect, OpenSea is probably not gonna launch on Geist anytime soon, so we don't really get the benefit of that. Now Magic Eden, we could work with them potentially. It makes it easier for anyone basically to come onto the chain. It was just we were too early to the space. No one really knew how the indexers and stuff would be managing this kind of stuff, and it did become kind of an albatross around our neck that has prevented some adoption. I would say, like even today, Avogaccis don't really appear like properly on OpenSea, which is also because these major exchanges don't support the locking standard. So that's always been a problem and kind of a cool part of Avogacci, the fact that the NFTs are dynamic, but it's also problematic because if someone, I've explained this a million times, like if someone lists an item on OpenSea with that metadata, and then they go and change the metadata by unequipping the wearable, their metadata isn't necessarily going to update in real time, and so someone could potentially feel like they got, or not feel, but actually get rugged by buying an Avagachi with a bunch of godlikes on, and then they receive it and it's naked. So that has also there haven't been enough like dynamic NFTs for the major NFT exchanges to like develop a response to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're leading the way, but yeah, a little bit of when you're this bespoke, that just is part of the nature of it. But yeah, the migration will help to some extent. Definitely makes it easier for new partners, whether they're building a marketplace or something else. And maybe with Geist, Bazaar is going to have a brand new day. Like Bazaar basically becomes the marketplace for the entire chain. No matter what partners come on board, they're probably going to look at the Bazaar first, because that's where the users are having the trading UX for NFTs and digital assets, and that's where the action happens. So I think that's just an interesting aside to how Geist makes these conversations at these IRL events more interesting, and also just for ourselves to think about and like kind of reframe Avagachi on its own chain.
Yeah, I think having your own chain is definitely a different calling card in crypto. People respond differently when you talk about your own chain.
Yeah, and just owning your own block space. We've talked about this in the past, but I still get the number one question is like, well, we're so early. Like, why do you want your own blockchain? It's like, blockchain is block space. That's where you pay the gas. Who do you want to pay the gas to?
Yeah.
To ourselves. So.
Yeah, I think that we're all pioneers here. Everyone who's this early to crypto gaming is kind of pioneering the approach. You see guys like Pirate Nation, they already have 2 chains, like one fully on-chain game with 2 chains. They're gonna eventually have probably 10 chains. They can have so many chains, but they're just like, you need eventually, if any game actually gets to scale, the number of chains that will be required is probably at least 1, and maybe more than that, depending how on chain the game is.
Yeah, you're gonna have like a chain just for the loading screen.
Speaking of on chain, I know our on chain kind of not fully on chain, but metaverse for our on chain avatars. You guys been working on what has the team been working on this week?
Can get into Gotchiverse here. Got a bunch of cool updates to share. But first, I mean, did you see in the chat here, Zbot? We've got a bid coming through for his, I believe it's the Neon Raffle, which not everyone maybe has seen. This is really cool because if you've seen any of the 3D printed gotchis that Zbot's made in the past, he's offering to make one custom gotchi for you, but you got to hit the bid to not only get the NFT, but if it hits a certain threshold, then he's going to hand make one for you. I believe that's the deal. So congrats to whoever just crossed that threshold. And Zbot, share some screens or links.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the auction house now. It's the auction house right now is full of neon raffles. I'm trying to find the godlike one. Oh
neon
my gosh,
raffles
there's so many. Zbot, you didn't add these by hand, did you? Do you have a script to handle all these? That's a lot of listings in the auction house.
It's probably by hand. Zbot keeps, just like how he's going to hand paint these.
Yeah.
Pixel by pixel. Wow, 1,000 ghosts. Well, I gotta say, the one you can scroll up and see in the picture, that hand painted Coder Dan Golden Cross one, we're we're so spoiled. Like that thing was waiting for me as soon as I arrived back stateside, and couldn't feel better about it. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's even like coloration inside the cup, the champagne cup. So it's so well done.
So I'm looking at this this listing here. Neon Raffle Holy Grail, and it's got all 6 of the rarities. That's so adorable.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Oh man, I'm gonna have to pull away here and start. Ooh, 29 minutes left. He really timed this tricky. I'm busy, man.
Issuance 2 months ago. Oh, interesting. This has been around for a while.
Yeah, but he's definitely injected some new interest with this this physicals aspect. Super cool.
I'm gonna have to show this to Intarja Mike. Intarja Mike, the Holy Grail is going for 1,000 ghosts. That's more than his labor intensive wood coasters. Maybe I shouldn't show it to him.
He's gonna get pissed. Figured.
That's cool.
I'm gonna drop some.
Did I imagine it, or did you reach out to the neon cat guy? I feel like I saw him recently. Yeah. Did he respond? Okay. Well, you gotta reach out anyway. That would have been cool. I bet he gets like a bajillion collab. People want to collab with him.
I bet. Bet he gets a few.
Frax, you got 30 minutes. So if you need to get back 86 kilometers, you're gonna have to floor it, sir. Well, congrats on that, Zbot. That's pretty epic. So the winner of that's gonna get the is it a neon raffle, hand painted raffle, or what are they getting exactly? Fake 6 raffle rarities. And a custom gotchi. That's cool. I gave all my big gotchis that you sent me away. Put them into the gotchi verse. But I still have my minis, and I got my big gotchi. The paint on the cheeks is a little chipped because it's just been around so many places and been pet by so many people now. I need to repaint it. But
that's it. We need a gotchi refurbishment shop. That's another side hustle. Specialist.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we were talking about the gotchi verse. You got any updates for us?
Yeah, definitely. You may have seen a tweet the other day with a first look at an Avagachi DAO focused community center, we're calling it. If everyone's seen this, let me drop a link. Just sent it out yesterday. And yeah, pretty excited for what you see here. It's a work in progress image. You literally can see how the team's working together here, where it's the big broad strokes are done for this area, but now it's detail work. And you can see some of the concept art overlaid over an actual in-game like screenshot. So some really nice elements still to add there. Gonna get the gotchi crest all over this thing here pretty soon. And yeah, this is basically going to be not the Avagachi DAO headquarters, because A, Avagachi DAO should have a lot of say in the design of that, and B, that would be more appropriate in the DAO square. right? And our massive citadel, there is an area just for DAO Square. So I'm personally thinking of this more as the satellite branch of Aavegotchi DAO down in the downtown, down in the King's Quarters. Maybe you guys are renting it from the Gotchi King, however it works. We've got a foothold for the DAO right in downtown D1. And yeah, the interiors needing a bit more work. We've really done the exterior up to this point. There's some placeholder stuff in there, but the functionality is really the key. And so we've got the back end worked out now, where basically every time we hold like an event, like I imagine almost every Saturday during this hangout, we can actually be in the verse and make a pit stop at the DAO Community Club to fill out some surveys at the very least. So we can actually take surveys, or basically the equivalent of basically a type form, but it's our own bespoke setup for that. And yeah, have modals pop up with different questions, multiple choice, input your answer, all that kind of cool stuff. And basically signal interest. Now, as it's built right now, it's basically one gotchi, one vote, or like one gotchi, one survey. But I'm sure as this goes, fleshes out, once we get ghost balances on Geist and everything like that, it would go to reason that we can also do like actual ghost voting power type of signaling in the verse, which could be, yeah, all sorts of crazy use cases, and a bit more like proper DAO legitimate, quorum type stuff could potentially theoretically be done. But yeah,
That'd
for
be
now it's
really
like,
helpful. So we could all be on a call here talking about something in the DAO call, and we could say, instead of doing a Discord poll, you're basically
yeah,
saying we could walk up and everyone could kind of give their live opinion of something, of an issue while we're on the call.
yeah, we can set it up so we're displaying like real time results, or we could save the results for later, or we could leave it open 3 days. There's some functionality and flexibility there, but that's kind of the idea, is like we should be in the verse when we're on these Saturday hangouts or any other event. And basically metaverses are at their best when they're having a lot of events. So we're trying to build out the tooling for like, what do you want to do if you're hosting a meetup in a metaverse? And surveys is pretty close to the top. Hosts can prepare all sorts of different questions or suggestions and content. So I've got a little video here of like how you would interact. We're working on some of like the VFX for walking up and interacting. So I'll share that. So like when an object is, to be interacted with, it usually has a glow or something. So, not groundbreaking, but we've got that too. Here's a short video clip of that. This is inside the building. And like I said, I want you to note how bare it is. And everything from colors of the walls to everything is going to be getting, we're literally, we haven't even begun on the interior. This is like really just to show off the VFX and how you'll be able to walk up to any table, booth, etc., and engage with that object.
That already looks so cozy.
I'm glad you like it. Dude, Stellar's getting work. He's sharpening his pencil. He's gonna go to town in here and and really inject the lore and we'll be busy next week just making sure this is super cozy. But yeah, it's a big space. It's actually massive inside. So we've got some interior work to do. This is one of many buildings, actually. Yeah, it is very cartoony. I would say the direction is based off the cinematics, and that it's more like not Roblox at all, but more like Fall Guys, Stumble Guys type of very friendly colors, very soft materials. But yeah, like I said, this particular one, I'm not in love with the tables or really the shapes or colors. So we're gonna do more interior design soon, but we're just finishing up the big bones. The blue swag carpet, it is very royal. So this is in a royal themed district, and perhaps the outside will stay royal themed, but I think the inside we want to go real hard on the DAO and the DAO branding and make it really epic. So speaking of DAO colors and DAO branding, this one's a bit more mysterious, but I will leave this with you guys as well. the team's been very busy. I tasked them with basically when you get to the edge of a district, because the districts are not stitched together yet, right? So they're kind of like massive floating islands. There was like this generic like space you couldn't go to, right? Like the out, the outer space. And now we're getting like a little something different. And we're really leaning into this idea that you live in a blockchain. So I'll probably be tweeting this one out later with some more context. But yeah, it's getting real funky. We're really leaning into this idea that, hey, we are ghosts haunting a blockchain. So, even for a non-Aavegotchi fan, that's like a pretty compelling like scenario. Like, what would it be like to live inside or exist inside of a blockchain, a network? And so this is the what they're loosely calling, the designers are calling the blockchain C. And there might be some cool interactions with this C. It may not just be for looks. So pretty excited about the potential of getting pretty funky with the blockchain C.
Definitely want to swim in it.
Right?
Swim in the data.
Yeah, it's all data. This is our version of the Cambrian explosion. This is just our Gotchi Cambria here. Yep.
Very cool.
And yeah, so just trying to think of little things like what we didn't want to do is kind of the instinct is to be like, oh, that's the edge of the world, put up a force field and just say cannot go, right? Like just block people. And like that's the easy answer, but it's never the one. Like there's actually an opportunity to have fun with the edge of the world. Like it's actually a pretty fun concept if you embrace it and start thinking about what does it mean to, flat earthers are going to love this game, basically. You can quote me. Flat earthers are going to love this game.
You guys are reminding me of the firmament. I've been obsessed with that lately.
Is that the? I think I know where you're going. Isn't that the Antarctica secret location or something? Or maybe I'm way off.
No, the creator of NASA put a Bible verse on his tombstone, and it like references a Bible verse. If you look it up, it's like God talking about the firmament, which is like a solid structure that encapsulates the Earth.
Right.
And so it's like, why would the creator of NASA put this one and he doesn't like put the verse. He doesn't put the verse on his tombstone. It's just like Psalms 19:1. So he like forces you to go look it up, and then you look it up, and it's like, what are you trying to tell me? So
It's interesting.
I don't know. Fun fact.
And that's crazy. Yeah, I'll look into that. I vaguely recall that from Bible school, but I never put it together as like living inside a snow globe. That's very interesting.
Yeah, if you look up firmament, it's like the way they use the word is like tent, like the Earth is encapsulated in a tent. Yeah.
Love it. Well, we've got our Gotchiverse equivalent in the works here, so even no matter what, we can have fun with these concepts in a metaverse. I like box comment, a little bit of a trolley tombstone. I mean, if you've got that personality, why not, right? That's your last chance to drop a meme or something.
Yeah.
This sounds like the product of forced retirement. That could be the case too. He's like, I don't know the context. All right, I'm going to share one more image from work in progress here that I think you guys will appreciate, because up to this point, like the testing build we have, just so you know, it always has first of all, the Spirit Force Arena HUD, all the overlay. That obviously is not going to be the case when we go live, and we've got the designs is absolutely gorgeous and functional. We'll probably by as soon as next week have that in our testing build, so it'll start to look more like what you'll actually see in play. But the other thing I've noticed is we haven't really had a chance to show off the multiplayer aspect, and this is a step in that direction. So I'm going to start small and send just a quick clip of two gotchis talking to each other, and also in a very nice setting. So you get to see a little bit more variety of the world we're coming into. Very inviting. This is a very comfortable, kind of pleasant feels very World One-y, right? A lot of green grass and hills. And yeah, there is a gotchi hanging out. And maybe it's real, maybe it's an NPC. Who knows? But we will have some wonderful NPCs throughout the verse, chatting, dropping alpha, saying crazy stuff. It's gonna be nice. Yeah, Dan, I think those columns should exist in the real world. Like
It's very vaporwave. I like it.
It's hardcore on that front, and yeah, it's one of those things that put in the list of things I want to see in real life now.
What is
Oh.
that purple thing? That looks very trippy. Like on the yellow.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Is it a
We
tree?
got, yeah, it's another variation of a gotchi bush. So there's a lot of different vegetation throughout this world. That one's a little stumpy. I think we've been calling it stump. So this area has a few of those hanging out. And yeah, I agree. They get some funny personality. Little pixels like jagging out. So Wanda got you dropping some lore here. I like it. I'm going to save that for later, Wanda. Might be using that. Okay. Now, for some more beautiful vegetation, this is a good segue. The team is also working on kind of going area by area through this, and this has to be one of the most creative areas in my opinion. So happy to give a sneak peek. Just think of it in terms of like it can set up a lot of mini game experiences.
Oh,
yeah, every area is kind of purpose built so that different activities would make sense to take place there. And what you have here is a very terraced vineyard. King's got to have a vineyard, right? So the royal vineyard, and pixelated grapes. Those must be grapes. And so yeah, it's work in progress, but very happy with the direction this area is coming together in. And
now my big question is: are the windmills going to turn?
yes.
Are we going to have wind?
Yeah, the flags are waving, the windmills are turning.
Oh yeah,
in the final version.
Metaverses need more wind, man.
Yeah.
So
It was so funny. The first time they got the flags waving in the wind, they're like waving in different directions. I was like, what's going on? So I think they're all blowing at least in the same direction now. But we've got
Chief, you
wind.
asked a great question. Are we going to have a winery? Are we going to be able to brew some wine in the Gotchiverse pretty soon?
I mean, that we'd have the wine wearable, and we do eventually want to get towards more of a micro economy, right? Or like like more crafting. So yeah, read between the lines here. Like we might be maybe not wine, but grape juice. So if we're worried about
juice,
ratings,
we'll call it.
Yeah. What the official terminology will be, TBD. But yeah, that's about it in terms of just. I don't want to show the whole world off, but I thought those were very good examples of like unique stations and areas and the decisions behind why these things exist, like that blockchain C. So yeah, literal edge cases. What do we do at the edge of the world? All right.
Cool.
Oh, I see 2 flags in the house. This could be a good segue. We're heading into the DAO hour. It's going to be a big one, so stick around for that, everybody. And maybe, should I save this for another? I think it's a good segue. I'm going to drop one more screenshot. Who can figure this one out first? What is this? Da-dun-da-da. Now you guys know why I mentioned Slama. What's going on here?
I see it.
Yeah.
That the Gotchi Guardians bridge?
That is the Gotchi Guardians. That's the Prong Meadow Bridge. And yet, it looks like we're in the Gotchiverse. So Prong Meadow has found its home. It's in D1. And that's really cool crossover there. Shout out to Slama. We've done a lot of collaboration on the 3D assets and some of the decorating. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. We want to like tie in each game and find ways to do, use the Gotchiverse as basically like an onboarding station and then send them out to play all the games.
We'll have to sync with the dropped guys on where the Degen apes are and all their village. How far away from the Citadel is that place?
Yeah,
That
maybe
in there.
maybe a few NPCs could come through the downtown area at some point, something like that.
Yeah, I love. Okay, so not too far. I love the idea of getting like the games integrated within the Gachiverse.
Yeah. So this is an effort on that front, and there will be in the distance. There's actually a clue to. There's kind of a zone where absolutely every game in development right now does get recognized in the Gachiverse. We want everybody to be aware of all the games. So it's part its own game, and it's part introducing people to the rest of Aavegotchi. You can do serve both purposes in D1.